channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Kay and this is Heykabudgets. Today we're going to be talking about how I like to prioritize my money and the 6 different savings accounts there are when choosing when to put your money and where. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm really excited to get started. I want to give you quickly a brief overview of what I have here. I created this over the weekend as a visual example for you guys, and I'll have this file in my freebies link if you want to print a copy for yourself. So in business, there is such a thing as a waterfall methodology. And basically in a project, in any kind of project in business, it talks about how sequential phases need to happen before moving on to the next phase. And so that's what the waterfall method here is for me when I consider how I like to prioritize my money. So sequentially, each teacup will need to get filled before you can move on to the next phase. And they all depend on each other. So as you can see, the waterfall only flows once each teacup is full. So that's what our method here right now in today's conversation here on this video. Feel free to join in the comments if you have any other additional tips or tricks on what you like to do when considering how you prioritize your money or how you like to save your money and where. We'd love to hear about it in the comments. This is basically a video I have decided to add for my new subscribers, my new viewers here on YouTube, and it's just another fun way of creating a how-to video for people who just don't know where to start and what to do first. So this is going to help you a lot. We talked about how to pay off debt in a previous video and how cash method or the cash envelope method can help you fund your different goals, your financial goals, either if it's paying off debt or saving money or prioritizing your bills and necessities. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let me take you through my little waterfall method here. So my first teacup, and this is what I would prioritize for all, and I believe everyone would recommend that you make sure you pay your bills and have the money to fund all of the necessities, which here in the budgeting community, we talk about your 4 walls, which are your housing, your food, your living expenses, like your bills, and your transportation. That's what the 4 walls are. So the first teacup, make sure that you're doing all of that before you ever start doing any kind of saving or investing or even paying off debt. So just make sure you're covering yourself first, right? So your 4 walls. Once those are covered, the money that's left over can go towards building your emergency fund. I recommend this stay at number 2 at all costs because your emergency fund is going to help you stay out of debt. So your emergency fund could be anywhere from a baby $1,000 emergency fund to anything like 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses for the future. Now, your emergency fund, if you have credit card debt or loans, I would start with a starter emergency fund amount, like $1,000 or $2,000, and then move on to teacup number 3 and number 4. Paying off debt is the number one thing we should prioritize our money for. It is the number one killer of financial freedom. So if you have debt, getting really in touch with what you owe and how much you owe and how long it will take you. I have a early debt payoff calculator that Justin has created for me and my viewers here on YouTube. Utilize that free link. He's been playing with it and making it so much bigger and stronger and giving you so much more information. So go into that debt calculator. It's one of the better ones I've seen online because so many of the ones online are just simple and don't combine all your debt and give you a complete picture of everything. So Justin's calculator pulls it all out for you. You can have up to 30 debts in there if you want. And then when you go to Excel or export it to Excel or export it to a file where you can look at it on Google Sheets or whatever, it will put each debt on its own separate spreadsheet and give you that summary page as well. So wonderful debt calculator. So yay to Justin for that. Thank you so much, babe. All right, and so I've talked about how your emergency fund is a baby emergency fund until you can pay off your debts. And then you could potentially come back up here to emergency fund and start funding more of your future living expenses, vacations, any kind of like This would be where you would also have your money saved in a high yield savings account. So we're also going to talk about the 6 savings accounts, and I want to mention the health savings account here because the emergency fund is a great place to store in your high yield savings account. So what is a high yield savings account? Well, it's an online bank that's offering sometimes 10 to 12 times better annual percentage yields than your traditional savings account at your brick and mortar bank. And it's because they don't have all those overhead expenses, they're able to offer you more money. And I'm sorry, but banks should be paying you as much money to house and hold and invest your money as they possibly can. So high yield savings account is great for down payments, for your emergency fund, for vacations, for anything that you need to save for either in a short or long-term way. Each health savings account is federally protected. That money is funded and backed up through the federal government up to $250,000. So you can have quite a bit of money in your high yield savings account. Also, I don't want to plug any specific website, but you can go onto Google and search the best high yield savings account. You can put that in the search and it will give you multiple websites that you can go to, and it'll break down and compare all the different high yield savings accounts for you, and then you can pick the one that you like the best. So we talked about the loans and the debt. So let's talk more about the different savings accounts. So teacup number 5, once all your debt's paid and you've got some emergency fund, number 5 for me is maxing out the 401k employer match if you have it. If you work at a place that offers a 401k and it offers an employer match up to a certain amount, take advantage of that match, max it out. I sort of had a hiccup on this one first starting out after my first marriage, my marriage failed, and I didn't know to max out the full contribution until I talked to my wealth advisor. And basically you're just leaving free money on the table if you're not maxing out everything your employer is willing to match. And the reason I got confused was because my employer matched 100% of a certain amount of contribution, and then they went down to 50% on another percentage amount contribution. So it kind of confused me and I didn't know what to do. So I only did the 100%, but then I went back once I talked to my wealth advisor and she said it's basically just free money, invest it and get as much as you can from your employer. And so now I've got it bumped up to include that extra 50% that they were willing to match. So your 401k, what is it? It's an employer-sponsored retirement account, and it lets you squirrel away pre-tax dollars from your paycheck. So you can't withdraw this money until, it's a retirement account, so you can't withdraw until 59 and a half. As of 2024, you can contribute up to $23,000 in the 401k, and they're projecting in 2025 maybe a little bit more. I think 2025 is more about the different IRA accounts more than anything. But anyway, and what's this good for? So the 401k, if you struggle having a long-term savings account because you're always dipping into it, this is great for you if you have the option. It's a kickstart to a long-term savings habit. It comes straight out of your paycheck, and I'm telling you, it's almost painless. You might feel the pinch at the very beginning when you notice your paycheck's coming down a little bit, but the return on that, because it's an investment account, it just grows and grows and grows, and it's like out of sight, out of mind. And it's one of those things that once you start adding to it regularly, it just grows and grows and grows. So always, always, always contribute enough to get all of that employer match. Never say no to free money when you're talking about your 401k. And so let's talk about the 401k a little bit more. So the 401k, there's 2 types. There's a traditional and a Roth. Your traditional 401k is when you're putting money into it with pre-tax dollars. That means the contribution that you're adding to your traditional 401k reduces your taxable income. And that's really good for people who make 6 figures, I would say, because people who make that kind of a money are in a higher tax bracket, and so the more they can reduce their taxable income, the lower taxes they'll pay. But if you're like me and you don't make 6 figures, you're most likely going to want to take advantage of the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA, it's not going to benefit you at all for having less taxable income. So what you're doing is you're guessing or expecting to pay less taxes on the money that you're putting in now versus later. So the contributions in a Roth IRA are after tax dollars. And I really like the Roth IRA because the money, once it's in the account, you literally never have to worry about the taxes on it again. Even if your investments grow to $1 bajillion, when it's time to go and withdraw, you can just withdraw the money and don't worry about the taxes. So that's why I like the Roth so much. Both traditional and Roth are both investments accounts, and they'll have investment growth and earnings, and they're all going to be sheltered from taxes. So those are the same. So it's tax-free investment growth. And then with the traditional, you're going to pay your taxes when you withdraw them, right? But with your Roth, it's tax-free once you withdraw them. So I truly like the Roth IRA. And for the Roth IRA, or the Roth 401k, like I said, I think it's the same contribution limit of $23,000 for 2024. So it most likely will stay the same in 2025. That's a heck of a lot of money, and I'm nowhere near being able to, meet that entire contribution amount. So that's something I'm going to be working on for a long time. Next is maxing out the Roth IRA or backdoor Roth IRA. So we talked about people who have earned more money and the ones that don't. So the ones that earn more money, a backdoor Roth IRA might be a great advantage as an additional account. But most of us are going to want to fund a Roth IRA, and it's $7,000 for one person, and I think a couple grand, maybe $2,500 more for a family. So the Roth IRA, so IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. So it offers special tax benefits in order to help you put money away for retirement. So no withdrawals, just like in your 401k, until you're like 59 and a half, right? But you can contribute to $7,000, right? But if you're like over the age of 50, there are things called catch-up contributions. So if you're older than 50, you can add more money, I think both in your 401k and in your Roth. And it's like a catch-up. And I think in 2025, they probably will have a better catch-up for people even over 60. So that's something to help when you're older and trying to play catch-up on your retirement, right? So the Roth IRA is really good. You can sign up for one yourself. You can use a broker. Either way, you're wanting to put as much money in there as possible. You can tell it how to grow, like how you want it invested. And then after that, you just want to make sure that you have that amount to contribute every year. So every year you would want to max out that amount. So I think you have until tax, like April 15th of the following year, to fully fund or contribute to the 401k and the Roth IRA. Anyways, okay, so we talked about the Roth IRA, the individual retirement account. If you're bigger, let's say you're self-employed and you're making profits over $300,000, the solo 401k or the SEP IRA, those might be good options for you if you're like a solopreneur, self-employed, small business owner, and you'll have to look into that. I really still believe in the Roth contributions though, so solo Roth 401k or SEP Roth IRA. All right, friends, so we talked about maxing out that Roth as the next savings account. The next account is your health savings account and maxing that out if you have it. This is for people who are enrolled at work with a high deductible health insurance plan. And when you are on a high deductible insurance plan, you have the option to open a health savings account. Love the health savings account. You can use it for so many things. It's a supercharged tax sheltered account, and it can help you put away money for health related expenses, either in the near future or in retirement. So what I love about this is there's a triple tax advantage in this account. So I love this account, and this health savings account is accessible to everyone. Even if you're self-employed or not working, you can get a health savings account with a high deductible insurance plan. So it's only if you're needing health insurance and can afford it, I would suggest you open a health savings account because, like I said, triple tax advantage account, right? So you get to contribute and not get taxed on that money. You get to contribute to that account, tax sheltered. You get to not pay taxes on the interest earnings on the account when it's invested. Super cool. And when you go to withdraw, it's a tax-free withdrawal. So when you go to pay for your health or medical needs, your qualified healthcare needs really, you can pay with it with the full amount that's not taxed. So that's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. This is best for it's an additional way of maxing out some good money and taking advantage of some tax sheltering, and like your Roth IRA and your 401k, these contributions, there's a max, and I think it's $4,150 for one person, and then maybe another $2,500 for a family, maybe a little more than that. But in 2024, that tax year, you could max out that account for about $4,000. So another great tip is at my work, the health savings account, I also have an employer match. If you can believe it, I think it's like $500, not a big deal, but if that's the case and you have an employer match, take advantage of it. Contribute as much as what your employer will match if you're not going to do the max out full, which is what I'm currently doing right now. I'm not maxing it out, but I'm definitely taking advantage of the employer match. So I did want to mention that on health.org, if you are out of work, like unemployed, or if you're self-employed, or even a stay-at-home, some of these accounts are open to you as a stay-at-home parent. Like there's a spousal IRA, and I really wish I had taken advantage of that when I was a stay-at-home mom taking care of kids. It would have been 10 years worth, 70 grand that I could have been contributing to a retirement account, even not working. So, and the same with the health savings account. If you're not working, go to health.org, fill out the paperwork. They'll have like a broker who can call you for free, an insurance broker. It doesn't cost anything. They can help you get on health insurance for your family or for you, and they can also help you open a health savings account if you want it. All right, friends. Last but not least is, well, not last, but second to last is funding those bigger financial goals. And this is usually like if you're thinking about the Dave Ramsey's baby steps, these are the bigger goals like college fund and paying off your mortgage. So this is where you would want to put all of your bigger financial goals, and you want to make sure you fill that cup. And the recommendation is to fill that cup up before you start playing on the stock market with a taxable brokerage account. So what is a taxable brokerage account? Well, it's an account that's not specifically meant for retirement. So this is where a lot of us get in and have fun in playing the stock market, buying stocks. If you want to dip your feet into a taxable brokerage account, really easy through Robinhood. I have a link in my description with Robinhood. You just kind of ignore the income questions and you can move on and start trading and funding, your stocks and stuff. So the other bigger companies like Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, you would have to reach out to them and get a financial person there to help you if you want to start playing with a taxable brokerage account. And the reason it is called this is because the money is taxed every year on the gains. So when you make interest money or you've earned interest and earned money on your investments, then that balance is taxed at the end of every year. You'll get a statement and you'll have to report that as earnings every year. So that's kind of that's like the cherry on top once you really mastered all these other teacups. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. I'm sure I missed a ton of information. Let me know if there are certain things that you need further explanation on. I do believe I have a viewer who's interested more in learning about how to invest money with a taxable brokerage account, which I don't mind doing. I don't have a ton of experience. I just have like a year's worth of experience with this. So I don't have a ton, but I don't mind doing the research if there's more interest out there. But if you want to learn any more about the other savings accounts, please let me know and I can break out one of these as a separate video. Well, friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you found this information valuable. And if you did, don't forget, you can use this as a starting point, or, you can print this out on a vision board if you have some goals, financial goals that you'd like to have. Think about, what your financial freedom number would be. I know a lot of people, have this magic around $1 million, but really, if you have a financial goal, any number could be good for retirement. It doesn't have to be $1 million to retire. Wouldn't we all love that? But this will at least help you prioritize where to put your money first and how to continue growing your financial, freedom number as time goes by. All right, friends, thanks again for hanging out with me. And don't forget to like this video on your way out. This was purely just my thoughts, my opinions. If you disagree, I'd love to hear more about it in the comments. And until the next video, I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.